The State of the UK Public Parks. It was published last summer, 2014, and it was a review on many of the achievements but also challenges facing the park sector at this particular point of time. It was the first UK study to be undertaken since 2000, so it's over 14 years since we last took stock of the funding, resourcing and quality of public parks across the entire UK. And particularly at this time where we have had some 4 or 5 years of austerity, you can start getting a really clear national picture on the impact of that austerity on our public parks. There are 3 key areas probably. The first is on funding, as we would all expect, but that is funding on capital as well as revenue. So the money that is spent on day-to-day management has reduced significantly, 30% possibly as an average, increasing for some authorities to up to 50% cuts in revenue budgets up to 2015. That is a massive loss. The second point is the loss of capital investment. So the fabric of parks are going to steadily or rapidly decline. And that loss of investment in the fabric and structure of parks will build up a massive deficit in terms of having to repair and replace those structures in the future. The other loss, I think, is the significant loss of staff. Now, we found that there is greater loss of management staff than frontline operational staff, but that can be, again, up to 30 or 40%. Nearly 9 in 10 local authorities have lost staff in the last 5 years. I want to look particularly at quality. I think we have to focus on the quality of the spaces that we have. Without building and constructing new spaces, we've got to look after what we've got first. So it's a matter of quality rather than quantity. The second is about connectivity. We have to get our parks to work better in terms of the way they serve and work with their surrounding communities. So they're not isolated and under-resourced that way. They relate to businesses, they relate to communities, they relate to property owners. And in that way you can get a transfer of support and funding between those various parties. We've highlighted some of the real challenges facing the park sector, but there's some great opportunities and great lessons from the last decade, particularly from 2000 onwards. The study was funded by Heritage Lottery Fund, and they've spent near on 700 million between the big lottery and the Heritage Lottery Fund on restoring parks, and you can see across the country a significant increase in the quality of parks. Many parks are now improving compared to the quality measurements that were undertaken in 2000. So you can see significant improvement in that area, and also increasing involvement of communities, larger numbers of people visiting parks, larger numbers of friends groups, and also the potential of greater participation in supporting parks from local communities.